welcome to Juice Podcast. I'm Emily Harmon.
And I'm Gwen Douglas.
And today we're doing hangover cures.
Hangover help.
Hangover help,
yes. Yeah. I don't know if we can cure them. I'm still looking for that. The hangover cure. Haven't found it yet.
Yeah, we kind of thought maybe everybody would have a bit of a sore head after New Year's, and often everyone has to drink on New Year's Day. So how do you get through New Year's Day after New Year's Eve?
You start drinking early.
Exactly.
The earlier in the day, the better.
Yeah. So we've got...
Yeah, we each brought something.
Yeah.
So I brought us a cider.
We should start with yours.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, because I think it's really low alcohol.
Yeah, I guess when hangover cure or get back on the horse wines, hop back on the horse. I'm always looking for something that's not too alcoholic.
Same. Not too much acidity.
Not too much acidity,
Like
because sometimes that can make
Yeah.
the old acid reflux make you feel awful. Not too round.
Oh, I mean, I wanted round.
Oh, you
not
wanted-
too acidic, not
comfort.
too pointy.
Yeah, I agree. And then maybe something sort of lower in alcohol, easy drinking,
Fruity, delicious.
yeah.
Something that gets you're excited to eat.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're going to be eating and drinking.
And I think it's that right amount of that you can drink enough of it that you don't get immediately drunk again, but it gets you a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
Because then you sort of feel okay and sort of numb the hangover effects. How does it smell?
Good. I'm excited only because when I texted you the picture of it, you had such a positive reaction to the photo of the
killer
bottle.
choice, actually. I thought you would have known this well.
No, I actually don't. I don't drink so much cider, but I do like cider. I'm giving us healthy glasses because it's only 4.4% alcohol.
4.4!
It's just 4 actually, just
Okay,
straight
cool.
up 4%.
Cool.
Yeah.
And for those who are tuning in on the podcast platforms, the audio, what have we got?
We have Cidre Brut Tendre from Eric Bordelet.
So for an English person, cider brut tender.
Yes.
Sounds weird, doesn't it?
I know, but I wonder if this Brut Tendre is because it's Brut, but I'm assuming they've got a Brut and then a Brut Tender, so I'm assuming it's like...
Yeah, I don't know.
A little more tender.
Yeah.
Just a little softer, maybe less dry than expected.
Yeah.
So I guess this guy used to be a somm. He used to work at Arpège in Paris.
Yep.
And then decided to take over the family orchard and make cider in a wine way. So they have 20 varieties of French apples in South Normandy.
Yeah, and apparently as well, because I know he makes an amazing cider called Poire Granite.
Oh.
And that is from like trees that are, now I'm just making it up, but it's over 100 years. They're over 100. They're really old trees
Cool.
with lots of these different varietals. So he's quite
cool.
known for working with old trees and farming them, I think,
Amazing.
without any chemicals. And yeah.
Because what I was looking up, I think this orchard is a family orchard. So he presses them right after milling and fermented. He racks off many times to slow the fermentation process. Then it's bottled with no added sugar.
So I guess he's slowing that fermentation down to try and get more flavours into the cider, or as many as possible. And no added sugar, you said?
No added sugar.
Yeah.
He bottles it and then cheers.
Cheers.
I mean, it has a really
It looks almost
very
like
lovely
Yeah, it
colour.
does.
It's like a lager.
I was thinking that it looks almost like a lager that's lost its head.
I mean,
Yum.
yum.
This would be great, actually.
Because it's like...
This is an all-day drinker.
Yeah. Also with 4%, you can be doing other things. You could double fist this with something else. Like get your Bloody Mary and then do one
Double
of these.
fist.
Yeah, come on, if you're at brunch, you can have a Bloody Mary, you can have a breakfast cocktail and have this on the side.
Would you have this as the chaser or would the Bloody Mary be a chaser?
This would probably be the chaser. I did almost bring stuff to make a Canadian Caesar, but...
Yeah, we should do that. That's a great idea. I love it. Did you bring
Clamato?
Clamato?
I've got it at home.
I love Clamato.
I love Clamato. Lucas won't try it. He's disgusted. But yeah, this is totally... It's like, there's not too much acidity.
Yeah.
It's like super yum. You
I also want to highlight how different that is from a can of Strongbow.
Oh, yeah. Yes, please.
Because I think, we used to, particularly in the UK, used to having these sort of mass-produced ciders, at least...
Yeah, I guess ciders are really popular in the UK.
Yeah.
Like snake bites
Corn
and whatever.
and all of these like fruit ciders.
Cornlicks are like, they're delicious, but they're crazy sweet.
They're
It's
too
like,
sickly.
I have to cut it with, I do half and half with soda.
Yeah.
in the summer.
But I do think, like, in France,
Yes, this is totally.
there is this like, it's something that, you know, a bottle of cider is something that in general has had a lot of time taken to produce it, and I think generally the everyday person appreciates cider in a different way, because there is this sort of artisan history that's more widely distributed. I'm sure there are areas in England where it's happening.
But I also think, like,
what about Canada? Apple cider?
Yeah, yeah, we definitely drink cider, but I don't think it's like, we probably drink it more like the Brits do. Like when I was working in bars, we always had a cider on tap, but it was mostly for mixing with other stuff and people drinking pints. It's not like we're having nice ciders.
Yeah. I remember booze. It's just usually a necessity to get pissed because you can session on it.
Because in the UK, I don't love apple cider. I'd probably go more for like a Perry, like a pear cider. I like Perry way more because it's less. Like some of those ciders, like you get fucked up off of, like, if you're drinking like on tap ciders at a pub, that's like danger.
Well, we could talk about, I mean, I'm completely contradicting what I've just said. Of course, Cornwall has a massive cider.
Oh yeah, true.
What am I
like cloudy
thinking?
apple, like
Scrumpy.
Yeah,
Do you remember that is the stuff where you can almost
the good
stop.
stuff.
The good stuff that is the stuff that gets you fucked up. It's like German wheat beers almost, that you just like lose your mind.
In a long time. Fuck.
Yeah, we don't advise Scrumpy for a hangover cure. That's probably the thing that gave me the hangover in the first place.
But actually, this is really super easy to drink.
Subtle, delicate.
Like
the bubble's so delicate.
Yeah, like you're not gonna be burping. You could probably drink heaps of this. It'd probably help you hydrate yourself a little bit too, to be honest.
I reckon I could drink a couple of bottles of that myself.
Same.
Because it's not too sweet. And it's served just for the purpose of the audio. It's in a 75cl sparkling wine bottle with a sparkling wine cork. So it's quite nice because actually if you're sharing it on a table, it feels a bit more sophisticated than just a can of Strongbow. Yeah. What's the other ones? The really bad ones?
I'm trying to even think of like...
White Lightning. Do you not remember that?
So long
this is my teenage.
So
maybe this is why as well. I'm like, it's all crap in England, because I just remember growing up as a teenager and being in the Priory Park in Reigate where everybody used to meet.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like scrounging around the Safeways, which is now Morrison's, standing outside the Safeways with a couple of quid trying to get somebody to buy booze for you illegally. And then it would always be like, okay, what are we going to get that is going to get us as drunk as possible? So there would either be...
We never had that much luck. For us, it was like, we were just excited if we got a shandy. We'd be like, 2%!
So really? We would have...
I was really good.
Sometimes beers. I was quite into beer as a teenager, but we would get like... Mine was always red wine. I would drink red wine out of the bottle.
Oh my God.
I remember us coming back teenager 16, 17, like black lips and... You know, just like, oh, Mum, we haven't been drinking.
I saw a friend once, like, in a plastic pint glass. We were going to some concert, and he had been drinking red wine out of this pint glass, and then decided, oh, the taxi's here, let's chug it. Chugged it, and I watched a grown man vomit through his fingers everywhere.
Like, close the fingers!
Like, just a stream. So horrible. Don't ever chug red wine.
And if you are going to be sick, use 2 hands.
Oh my God. That's going to be the cover picture.
This was, I won't announce which friend of mine it was, but a friend visited me in Berlin, and I went to school with her. Oh my God, it kills me, this story. So anyway, we were out drinking, we had a lot to drink, and we were out till about 2 o'clock, but it wasn't crazy. Yeah. Put the film on, because she had to leave at like 4, so we're like, oh, I'll just watch it. She fell asleep on the couch, and I was like, I'm just going to let her get her 2 hours sleep. I set loads of alarms to wake her up, which I did have to go and wake her up because she didn't wake up. Put her in a cab, she's like, all right, mate, bye. Off she goes.
Oh no.
This is only like a year ago, by the way. so then anyway, I get a minute, so I'm like texting over, so I wake up and I'm like, hey, did you get back all right? And she's like, oh my God, like, OMG. That was the worst flight I've ever had.
Oh no.
Right?
I'm so afraid already.
So she's like, I got up because I started to feel unwell, and I went to the back of the plane, but there was somebody in the toilet, so I couldn't get in. And she's like, and I really needed to be sick. So I had to crouch down in the little kitchen and be sick into my jumper.
I had to.
And she was like, and it was awful because it was coming out the sides.
Oh my God.
And she's like, by the time, it's just the way she said, had to crouch down in the little kitchen. I was like, babes, that's not a kitchen.
That's just a plane.
That's the
You're
galley.
just the...
Yeah. And she's like, and then I finally got
You were
into
not in a separate space. You were in an open space in public.
I know. And then eventually she finally got into the bathroom, and she said she had to like ask the cabin crew to go and get her bag for her because she could clean herself up. And she said the whole time people were knocking because it took her so long because she was still drunk.
Oh my god.
And covered in sick all over.
Oh my god.
And then
Just
she
terrible.
just sent me the like so embarrassing after, and well, it was just the way it was written, and because she's so sweet, like it was just
so funny.
I would just open that message for days after just for a laugh. It's like,
man.
oh, I'm having a stressful time. Look at that message.
But laughing puking while being on a plane is already like.
And in a jumper, like
Yeah.
oh my god, like that's so desperate.
Because my sister did it, but it wasn't
Desperate
because she
and
was
necessary.
sick. It was like a flight back to Australia, and I don't know what happened to her, but it was something like, as the plane, some sort of pressure thing happened, and she puked and then lost consciousness.
Oh no.
And her husband was like, I'm so embarrassed. And she's a doctor, lovely. She was just like,
she
hey,
on my
ground. And she said she came to sick all over her jumper and was like, oops. Yeah. And then still had a whole other flight to take.
Oh
Brilliant.
god.
Yeah. See, we're
Was
still
it a
drinking.
liquidy one or?
Oh, I didn't ask
Yeah.
the details.
I hope it wasn't too chunky. That would have been awful, can you imagine? No, because there are different types of sick.
Oh, absolutely.
If it was just like, oh, I've had too
Vile,
many gin and
yeah.
tonics, then it probably wouldn't be too bad.
It
But
just
if it was
smell like
like,
gin and
I've just
tonic.
had a roast lunch and that didn't sit
I
well.
was on Singapore Air eating noodles for breakfast
Oh,
and then
God.
something like this.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah.
That's awful.
So actually, I think I'm going to buy more of these bottles for home. This is
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't think it was so expensive either.
Yeah, it's
Quite
much
sure it
better
was.
than many people's maybe impression of cider, but this is definitely, I would definitely consider him as one of the top cider producers. And it's interesting because a lot of wine people do. It's interesting that you chose it as well because this is a cider producer that's really appreciated by wine people because
yeah.
the quality, because it's really fine, the bubble
Yeah.
and the fizziness is very fine, so it's not too gassy as well, which is great.
Which is really nice if you're not feeling
if
great.
you've got a sensitive tummy.
Yes.
He's often at a lot of the natural wine fairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with his ciders going around the cakes. Quite an attractive man, actually.
Oh, I'll have to
Silver fox.
Google him.
Yeah.
But it was funny because at the wine shop I bought this.
I'll have to
I'll
Google.
have to Google him. Check that out. I bought this at Passion Vin here in Berlin, and I know they serve it at some other restaurants in town. I think Noble Heart has served it before and some other places.
I mean, we used to pair the poire granite Attica with one of the
Okay.
dishes, actually. That was my
It's
first
super yum.
introduction to it.
It took me ages at the wine shop to figure
Yeah.
out what I was going to get for a hangover cure because there's
Still got
just
tears coming down my face, sorry.
there just wasn't anything that everything was just too acidic or too.
Yeah.
So when I stumbled on this, I was very happy.
Well, I was in two minds about mine because I was thinking I had two options, and I'm glad I've gone with what I've gone for. But
Me too, because
Yeah.
I think I would probably over your other choice.
yeah.
I'm not sure what you've brought, but it looks
Yeah,
delicious.
go on to it.
Oh,
That was delicious. So that was Cidre,
down the
Brut,
hatch.
Tendre, or Tendre. I'm awful with French. I should never move to France. They would just hate me.
Oh, they'd love it. They'd be like, so cute.
So cute how she bastardises our language all the time. So I'm just cracking open my bottle. So what I bought today was a bottle of 2018 Cold Tamarie from Vigna San Lorenzo. This is actually a wine I import.
Oh la la.
Yeah, which is, I know.
I like it. The colour is amazing.
I know, isn't it? It's like,
So beautiful.
I don't know how to describe it, but
It's
kind
like
of,
honeycomb.
yeah, it is, and it's like luminous.
Yeah, it's really nice. Cloudy.
So,
With froth on that.
there is indeed. So, I sort of, I was in two minds. I was thinking of bringing a sweet Riesling, because all sommeliers say shot of sweet Riesling just gets you back on, but I think that could be a bit intense for a lot of people.
Maybe it works for some and not for the average.
Yeah, and as well, I don't know how many people are into sweet Riesling. I think everyone should get into it, but That's a whole thing, a whole different thing. But this particular wine essentially is Petnat Col Fondo style. So it's from the Veneto. So we're in Prosecco country. However, this is very, very different to any Prosecco that anybody
Not your
would
English
come near to.
Prosecco.
No. And this is, the producers are obsessed with farming biologically to the point where they measure the energy in each plant, and it's a very small farm, 2.5 hectares, and they just make this one wine. Cool. And I know the wine through a friend of mine, Rupert, who imports the wine into the UK with his company Uncharted, and I bought magnums of it for some of the unfiltered pop-ups that I've been doing in the UK. And then I saw them at Vinitaly earlier on this year and just said, hey, have you got an importer? No. And so I just bought some bottles. I was like, oh, we'll see how it goes. And
cool.
Yeah. I really like it because I think it's a delicious wine. So blend of 6 local varietals. There is obviously Glera, which is the Prosecco grape in there. A few days skin contact, and then it's finishing fermentation. It's obviously removed from the skins and finishes fermentation in bottle, which is why it's got that fizz, and it is unfiltered and unfined. That's why it's
lovely,
very cloudy. But you're right, it's like bright yellow, isn't it?
Yeah, it has
it's
that
like a daffodil yellow,
honey, like fresh honey, like you open
like a fresh acacia, like a unfiltered or slightly crystallized acacia honey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our glasses, unfortunately, today have a slight. I washed them, but.
So it's 11.5% alcohol.
Fresh, yum. You know, it does have almost like a shandy feeling about it.
Yeah. For me, it's so zippy, this one. Yeah. And what I like about it is that it's fruity, it's fresh, it's citrusy, but it's not too acidic.
No.
But it's got almost like this, I don't want to say tonic, or...
I see what you mean. It's like
you know, like the Radice Lambrusco, where it's got almost like a saltiness to it.
Yeah.
So it feels very refreshing. It really gets your appetite going. And
if you took a honey lemon halls and took the menthol out,
and made it effervescent, like you know they get those
like a Barocca.
Yes. Yeah. That was honey and lemon.
I mean, that's already a perfect hangover cure. So I'll have one of those and then one of these. Yum! I can see this being yummy with like hollandaise sauce and like eggs benny.
For me, this is again in the same way that cider is. I could drink this all day. 'Cause, I mean, it's fermented fully dry, so there's no sugar left. It's the right amount of gas that it's not too bubbly.
Yeah, also the bottle is also nice and fun.
No sulphur.
Yeah,
obviously. And I think, but it's pristine. It doesn't get any mousiness or anything like that. It's like this all the time. So it's proper glue, I think.
Oh, right.
It's a little bit cheaper than the Lambrusco that we did before, but it fits around that price point. Whereas I think in a shop, somewhere between 13 and 14 euros.
Which I think is also.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much you people drink at brunch on New Year's Day.
You people.
You.
How much do you people drink at brunch?
I mean, last year I did nothing for New Year's, so I actually, for once in my life, woke up New Year's Day
feeling great,
feeling fucking ace. It was such an amazing feeling.
Well, I think there'd be some people that would still be awake and wanting to carry on. This could be the answer.
Yeah, start over. Just restart. It's the reset button.
It is.
Yeah.
Little light bubbles of the reset button.
What else do you do for your hangovers?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not drinking again, and of course, we don't always drink because otherwise we'd be drinking, or that would be like a cycle.
Yeah. We'd be in a
Groundhog Day. Fuck.
Terrible feedback loop. That's called
that's it. Feedback. Yeah. Yes.
Just alcoholism.
What else would I do? I think you're cool on the old Bloody Caesars, Bloody Marys.
Yeah, I love a tomato juice based.
Yeah.
Anything with tomato juice.
They're great on planes as well. Oh.
Isn't there some sort of, maybe it's an old wives' tale, that there's like a science to why tomato juice tastes so excellent in a plane?
Yeah, but everything changes. So your senses are changed because it's obviously because the impact of the pressure. So I think that's why often things like Chardonnay or umami flavours, richer flavours, gin tonics are really good. Champagne tastes better. Yeah. So shit champagne tastes way amazing. Better up in the air than it does on the ground.
Things I always want to drink in planes, non-alcoholic, I always want to drink ginger ale and tomato juice. Those are the two things. And Perrier is like a dream up there.
Yeah.
With lemon. You're like,
I love it. If on the occasion where I get a little business class points ticket with British Airways, because I'm a frequent flyer for now, and I obviously you can just drink what you want, so I'm always, it depends what time of the day it is.
Yes. But it doesn't matter, it's on a plane!
Yeah. There are 2 drinks you can drink at any time of the day, and that's champagne, Bloody Mary.
Absolutely.
And probably a gin and tonic would pass as well.
I've seen those at every time of the day.
I think whiskey you got to be a bit more careful with.
Yes.
But I once made myself a martini on a plane.
Of course you did. You can just see her in her seat.
In economy. Yeah, I was
She's mixing. She's eyeballing people. I see you vaping. Just mixing my martini.
Yeah, I did, because Emirates carry martini on their minibars. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, and I was in economy and I was like, oh, I've just taken a Xanax. This is not advisable.
No,
do not look at me for an example.
Definitely not advisable.
So I took a Xanax. I was like, I want to sleep because it was a 14-hour flight from Melbourne to Dubai. So I was like, I need to get it to kick in quicker.
Oh, no.
I don't take...
These things may cause death. Don't do them.
I know.
We're happy she's alive.
And I don't do this regularly, and I don't advise it, and I don't take anything. This was, this happened like maybe 3 times, possibly 4, and so in my whole life, not a year, and then
not this week.
yeah, only every month. But no, so I popped the Xanax, and I was like, I need to get something strong to sort of let it kick in, and then I'll be out, and then I won't have to worry. So waited for the meal. The little meal came round, and then I said, "Have you got some gin?" She said, beef eater, great. Have you got any martini at all? Yeah, I do actually. Which one do you want? I was like, the white one. Can I get loads of ice, another cup, and a piece of lemon on the side? And she was like,
what are you making?
Tonic water? And I was like, no. Lemonade? Like, the woman was
just trying to figure out what the hell.
You could tell like she didn't know she was supposed to give it to me. I was like, I have everything I need. Don't worry. And then she sort of hung around for a while. So she saw me putting it all in. Knocked that, and then I was just out of it for the rest of the flight. It was great.
See, because I actually never realised, because I also had to take something for flights, and it wasn't until much later that I realised that you shouldn't drink with that stuff. It's very dangerous.
I think you can like kill you, can't it?
Yeah, it can. It can stop your heart. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Like I still have nightmares about it now, because I've definitely been on flights where, like when we went to...
But it's unlikely if you're healthy and you're not doing it regularly.
No, I think the problem is that, like, I take stuff for anxiety, so when you're anxious, you're taking something to, like, calm your heart rate. But it's situational anxiety rather than, like, all the time anxiety. So the minute your situational anxiety subsides and your heart rate goes back to normal, you're suddenly just high. Because then you're like, you still have something in your system that's depressing your respiratory system, your heart rate. And if you've drunk a bunch of booze on top of that, that also depresses your respiratory system.
Really?
You could just stop breathing. So it's like, it can, obviously the risks are higher when you take a lot of both of the things, but it can happen with one pill, one drink. So it's not advised. And when I found that out, I then had nightmares for a week, because I thought about all the times that I had mixed alcohol with my pills. And had a nightmare for each occasion.
Oh my god.
Yay!
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't worry about it too much. I did it on the way back from South Africa as well. Just popped one, then I had a gin and tonic, and then I was just I had a really relaxing sleep.
It definitely like kicks it up a notch.
Yeah, and it's great because then they wake you up for the food, you eat the food, and then you slowly drift back off to sleep as soon as you finished eating, and you just I was on the way out. I'd taken 2 actually, and I was falling asleep in the car for about a day and a half after.
Yeah,
it was
really like season.
I know.
Because this time I flew to Austria because it was a short flight. I was like, you can do it, Gwen. No pills. And instead I like had 3 shots of Bailey's in my coffee. Chugged it. Glug, glug, glug. Actually, not even a coffee. It was in a hot chocolate. And then, passed out. That was the same. Might have had a slight diabetes-y feeling after, like that.
There's no right choice.
Hot chocolate.
There's no right choice.
No. Should have just,
Yeah, but for a long haul flight, I mean,
melatonin. Melatonin works really well. Yeah. Melatonin, a few gin and tonics.
Well, as always, we're full of advice and stories from aeroplanes.
To not take.
Usually our example should not be followed.
Drink responsibly.
Unless you see somebody vaping on an aeroplane, then you should definitely follow my example.
That's always my favourite thing. When one person doing something worse than the other person is like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like me that time I was trying to have like a lemon sip after having 2 glasses of wine. Don't do that, it's so bad for your liver. I was like, everyone else is binge drinking. I've had 2 glasses.
Oh, when
like,
Lucas told you. That was ridiculous.
It was quite funny.
I was like, how many times have you popped a paracetamol the day after drinking
I know,
just
exactly.
to get rid of your headache?
It's like the same shit. I was like, I've had 2 glasses of wine, I don't think the lemon sip is going to kill me.
I rarely take a pill unless it's like so bad that I can't lift my head off the pillow, which never really happens. I'll try and get, if it hasn't been too bad a night or too sordid a night, then I'll go for a run. That'll clear, well, it'll go one way or the other.
Yeah, it'll either make you puke or you'll feel great.
Yeah, or the headache gets worse.
Yeah.
But either that, run, eating, oat milk. Oat milk is my,
I can't drink,
chocolate.
I'm a die-hard coffee drinker and I cannot drink coffee when I'm hungover. It makes me really, like,
That doesn't
anxious
surprise-
and
yeah.
gut rot. Like, we did a juice cleanse not that long ago, a couple weeks ago, and I had, like, crazy headache the first day from lack of coffee. And she didn't realize how horribly addicted I was. Like, I was so light sensitive, I couldn't be anywhere. And the only time that I could get my head to stop hurting was laying in the bathtub and having just this part of my face exposed. And like in pitch black. Like no lights on in the bathroom.
Imagine coming in to find you like that. You'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Why's she doing that?
Like some sort of like ban up.
Adam's family.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
I'm staying here now.
It was the only time when I'd be like, oh, I feel amazing. And then I'd lift my head and be like, no, back in the water. Can't do it.
Yeah.
And then we did the 3-day juice cleanse. Didn't have a coffee the first day because I thought, calm down. Just had some porridge and a tea. And then the next day I had a coffee, made my usual coffee, had it, was on the U-Bahn messaging Lucas saying, I feel sick. Like, I want to be sick. I'm sweating. I
don't ever drink coffee because that happens to me anytime I even have like half a coffee.
Yeah, I drink a 6-cup Bordelet every morning.
My hands will start sweating. I'll have a headache. I start to feel like I just want to die. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. Like
it was really mad.
My heart rate's like this, and I'm just like I can't do anything. Like I've never been able to do coffee because of that.
I love it, but now that morning really made me appreciate what it's doing to my system.
So that's like any time I've ever tried coffee.
Crazy. I mean, I think if I would start now, like if I were to start now, had never drank it, I probably wouldn't go for it. But now, even like since the cleanse, I'm doing like half the amount of coffee grams in the Bordelet because it's like, and I'm not having a second. Normally I have a second coffee when I get to work. Now I'm having like a tea.
Yeah.
I'll just have a simple...
Tea is the future.
That was like,
really culty.
That was like a weird cult moment there. Yeah.
Actually, we've got our own religion going on here.
The tea.
Teology.
I mean, I love tea. I have a whole cupboard of tea. Yeah. It's good. Right, have a tea if you're hungover.
Have a tea if you're hungover. Actually, that's probably a good idea. Herbal tea.
Peppermint tea is good for your stomach. Yeah. Chamomile for your anxiety.
Yeah. If not, get onto the
booze.
umami cocktails, gin and tonics, sparkling pet nats, ciders.
All of the good stuff.
Sometimes a beer actually is not too bad the next day as well.
You could do a red eye, so beer with a little bit of Tabasco in it.
A red eye?
A red eye, yeah.
That's kind of weird if I think about that. What sort of eye
Just
is
a little tomato juice and a bit of Tabasco in a pint of lager.
Okay.
It's like a shitty Bloody Mary, but it works.
Okay, if you're not a vodka next time. What do you think they'll say when I'm on the plane and I ask for that? Can I have a red eye?
Yeah, they'll be like...
I know!
They're going to be waiting for the
Oh, there's another arsehole on the plane, great.
There used to be a coffee called a red eye too, and the coffee was a regular filter coffee with espresso and chocolate syrup in it. So it's like sugar kick.
Keep you really awake.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So, let's wrap up this hangover time.
Thanks all for tuning in. Obviously, for those of you that are on the audio, we've also got video on YouTube. We have a channel, which is under Juice. I've updated the name, actually.
Oh, la la.
But Juice Wine Show and Podcast, just so people can find us if they're... Because I don't think people would search for podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, probably not. Oh, I don't know. You'd be surprised.
Okay.
Lucas watches a lot of podcasts on YouTube.
Yeah.
Some people like to see.
But we've got a channel there which you can subscribe and you can see us on video if you so wish. See our frowns and cringing faces.
Yes.
And
And a Christmas tree.
And if you're watching us on video and you have got a road trip and you can't watch us, you can
driving,
find our audio
Safety
on.
first. You can find us on Deezer, on Apple Music, on Spotify, pretty much anywhere that you listen to
Your
podcast.
Yeah.
You can also find us on Instagram at juiced.podcast, on Twitter at
juice_podcast.
and our website is juice.show, where you can pick up a snazzy tote bag as pictured here in the video.
And it's got, well, this is the New Year's Eve episode, but you know, if you want to keep on the Christmas cheer, it does have a red.
It does have a Christmassy vibe.
It does have a Christmassy vibe. I don't know if that's just because we're by the tree.
Yeah. I'm a monster. I put that tree up already.
I know, I love all of the tinsel. I love that you've got the different sized tinsels.
All the tinsel.
Yeah.
Alright. Super.
Until next time, cheers.
I've already downed mine.